right, can I get my posture right? Oh, this is weird. Anyways, new setting, I guess. New setting ish. The old chair. Speaking of bad posture, but now the old chair um, crapped out on me yesterday, so I just thought, let me get a new chair. This new chair doesn't work with the old setting that I had when I was recording these videos or videos in general. I was putting this laptop on my nightstand. Well, this chair is too tall for that because you was gonna get like this angle. You know what I'm saying? And it it's not the type of YouTube videos I want to make. Anyways, we're here to talk about Kellyanne Conway, Claudia Conway. Get this yawn out the way, and just the backlash. Kellyanne's tweet, in regards to how people are basically taking Claudia's side and Claudia's response to, or just her actions on social media as of lately. And the weirdness that liberals are latching on to this 15-year-old girl and making it seem like she's some type of martyr simply because she is being defiant and against her Republican mother who works close with Donald Trump. And I feel like that's the only reason why these weirdo liberals are rooting for this girl. Because I bet you if Claudia was like, yeah, the things that people say about my mom, I don't like the things that they say about my mom, and to me, she's a very nice person. They wouldn't take that and say, well, you know what, she's a 15-year-old girl, and they would cyberbully the fuck out of her. They would talk about how evil her mom is, the stances, and all this other stuff. But since she's not doing that, they're championing this girl, and they want her to basically not be a part of this family. Now, Claudia has posted about some very alarming things that goes down in the Conway house. She talks about both her parents not being great parents. I believe she said her father was a racist, but still thinks that he's a better person than Kellyanne, her mother. She talks about how Kellyanne is very verbally abusive. I think she even mentioned at one point Kellyanne was both verbally and physically abusive to both her and her husband as well. That's very alarming. Kellyanne gives me the vibe that she is at least a very verbally abusive woman, and there's, TikTok videos of her cursing at and yelling at Claudia because Claudia is just, another white teenage brat who is being defined nonetheless, but the verbal abuse seems to be a bit much in that situation. So I'm going to read this Kellyanne Conway tweet, and then I will just share my thoughts on it. So Kellyanne this morning tweets out, "My daughter Claudia is beautiful and brilliant. She has access to top doctors and healthcare and lives comfortably." Before I read the rest of this tweet, she was basically flexing on all you poor stands of Claudia. She's saying that y'all can stand my daughter all you want, you'll never be her. You know what I'm saying? You can try to put her up as a martyr, you will never be her. You're poor, you're broke, you don't have health care. We know we're purposely not giving you health care. And even though my daughter and myself and the rest of the Conway family, or at least the ones that are living in that household, have COVID-19, we're still going to be all right. We have access to the best doctors because we're rich and you don't. Flex. After all that, she goes on to say, like all of you, she speculates on social media. Yet she's 15. You are adults. We have COVID. But it's clear who's really sick. She just dissed y'all. A lot of y'all. And y'all are killing me because y'all making me side with Kellyanne on this one. I agree with this tweet. I'm feeling like that meme where it's like that time where that moment when the absolute the worst person makes the the best point, or whatever that meme is. Kellyanne, and I never really got this obsession with this 15-year-old girl that y'all have simply because she's against her daughter. I think the liberals do this weird thing where they will latch on to anybody, no matter how old they are, but latch on to anybody who has something bad to say about a Republican, especially a Republican who works with or for Donald Trump, or at least is buddy-buddy to some sort with Donald Trump. You know, even when his former buddies and former colleagues come out and they start talking trash to him, they'll latch on to them. Whether that person is a liberal or not, they'll latch on to them because they're so against Trump. It's a weird obsession. It's weird. I don't look at Kellyanne Conway's daughter as some martyr or some shit. I look at her as some 15-year-old girl who is likely doing this shit for clout. Not to say that what she is doing and what she is saying is there's no truth to what she brings up. I think it's very alarming, and it should be paid attention to, the things that she's bringing attention to the world. But at the same time, I don't think that she's doing it because she's this scared girl. You can tell via her TikToks, via her tweets. She's not scared at all. She's poking the bear on purpose. She's purposely trying to get a reaction. Kellyanne's dumbass keeps falling for it. And that's how they go. You know, hey, that's how rich white families go when the rich white family is actually taking care of the child. They either have this crazy abusive relationship with verbally and physically abusive with the child, where the child is, yes, a victim of abuse, but the child continues to poke the bear. And the child continues to take the abuse because they are comfortable in the lifestyle that they're surrounded in. But they continue to poke the bear. Meanwhile, the parents continue to yell, scream, and hit if that is the thing. All right? Tiffany hasn't gone on video and said anything of being physically abused. And she hasn't gone. Well, every time she's gone on video, there are no scarring, no signs of physical abuse. Now, I'm not saying that can't be the case because there's no signs. You know, Kellyanne's hits could be as weak as her bone structure looks, and maybe a little like that. Of course, is a big deal to a 15-year-old girl, especially if her mom does it. But you know, to a 29-year-old man like me, you're not gonna hurt me, but don't slap me still. But that's not gonna do much. You know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, I do think what's going on is alarming, but she has a point. Kellyanne has a point. I don't. What she's essentially saying is, y'all are upset with, or y'all are only siding with Claudia in believing things on the internet, or speculating things, or whatever, or believing Claudia. Not even just believing what you see on the internet or read on the internet, but simply believing Claudia because you don't like Kellyanne Conway. And you don't like the fact that she is buddy-buddy with Trump. That's it. That's the reasons why you are siding with Claudia. I don't like Kellyanne Conway either. If I didn't make it clear, I don't like Kellyanne. I don't like what she stands for. I think Claudia, before she got on TikTok and started talking and exposing her mom, I saw the tweets once again. When one of the earlier tweets, she was saying, Kellyanne is putting on the front like she's bad. Don't get me wrong, but she hasn't been this bad until Trump got into office, and she feels as though she has to put up this appearance of being, you know, the person that she is in order for her to continue to get in the clout and essentially doing the same thing that she's guilty of doing shit for clout. You know, and there might be some truth to it, just like I believe there's truth to what Claudia is saying. But there is a big apparent aspect about it that has to do with the attention that they're getting for doing what they do. Kellyanne is no different. It just seemed like the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, and you got two clashing heads, two people who are essentially the same individual. You got the 15-year-old girl who's essentially doing what her mom does. And you got the mom who is upset at her daughter for something that she's guilty of. you know, um, which is attention whoring. That's my thoughts on that situation. You're not going to see me stand for Kellyanne Conway. I don't, and again, if there's something deeper than that, there might be. But I don't pay attention to white families. And I also don't pay attention to 15-year-old girls. So if you know more, then feel free to let me know. But don't get on me like, how do you not know? I'm not on TikTok. And again, I don't pay attention to 15-year-old girls. You might do that. But I think it's weird. I think it's weird that if you're not a 15-year-old boy or a 15-year-old girl, if you're not a 15-year-old period, and you're paying attention to what this 15-year-old says and taking it as gospel, sure, there could be truth to what Claudia is saying, but you don't know that for sure. But you say it's true because it's Kellyanne Conway, someone you don't like, someone who was cool with Trump. What if this was a left-winger? Left-wingers are just as terrible with their kids as Kellyanne is with hers. Would you be so quick to believe it, or would you tell that 15-year-old girl that she better obey her parents? And when I was 15, I would never do this and say this about my mom. But if it's a right wing's 15-year-old child, it's okay for them to be defiant. It's okay for them to be disrespectful to them on camera and poke the bear. It's okay because your parents are a piece of shit and their politics suck. Yeah, that's the message y'all giving up. So that's what it is. Like, comment, share, woo, subscribe, and y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. Debacle.